Hi, I recently watched the sci-fi thriller Midnight Special, and it's kind of an unusual film. Um, it begins in media res with a boy having been kidnapped and the alert having gone out that he's missing, and we slowly find out through a trickle of information over the first act of the film that he's been kidnapped by his own father and a childhood friend of his father's, but he had been living with a cult of some sort in Texas, and he had been regarded as some kind of prophet, that he has some kind of power and ability, and he's being taken cross country to some sort of destination. And along the way, they pick up the boy's mother. The boy starts to display strange powers, glowing light shining out of his eyes, the ability to cause satellites to crash, while the government raids the cult ranch, and an investigator starts to try and track them down and piece together what's going on. It has a terrific cast: Michael Shannon, Joel Edgerton, Kirsten Dunst, and Adam Driver, and it's written and directed by Jeff Nichols. I really liked it. I believe it's the first Jeff Nichols film that I've seen, and it the funny thing is, it struck me as having a very similar story to Starman. Alien or otherworldly being on Earth, travelling cross country, government in pursuit, interested scientist, winds up being sympathetic and helpful, final sort of climactic reveal of spectacle of what the aliens' environment might be. But Starman is very much an emotional story. Midnight Special deliberately withholds almost all explanation. I think that's the touch of genius to the story, which is you are told enough to be able to follow the plot. You're seeing it through the eyes of the human characters who have no idea what's going on. They know they have to get this boy to a certain place at a certain time. He's insistent that they do it. Why, we never understand, really. Why him specifically? What is it that's there when they get there? We never really understand what that is. It's a science fiction story. Ding dong. It's a science fiction story where we are only given the bare minimum of information to follow the story, because it's all about the characters. It's the father who doesn't understand his son but loves him dearly. It's the childhood friend who's still loyal to this long-time friendship. The mother who doesn't understand her boy but knows he has to do the right thing. The scientist who is bound by his obligations to his job and to the government, but still is fascinated and entranced by whatever power this is, and knows he has to do the right thing. It's a thriller, it's a conspiracy story, it's a science fiction story. The title is named after a train that would travel overnight between St. Louis and Chicago, and it's sort of picked up the moniker of any kind of non-stop overnight journey, because they can only travel by night because the boy is photosensitive, although that wanes as the story develops and he becomes more able to withstand light and he sees his first sunrise. I thought it was a really terrific film. It is not a conventional mainstream sci-fi movie. It's not really an art house movie either. It's an interesting middle ground between the two. But I thought it was very good, and I would recommend it very highly.